Hello, Tar Heel Nation. Welcome to another episode of UNC Hoops Talk. I'm your host, Dan DeWitt. Happy to be back with you. Unfortunately, not under the terms expected to be from last week. Tough loss with Iowa at home. And we'll discuss that. But most of this podcast, of course, is going to be dedicated to Kentucky and previewing that and seeing what we need to do if we can to beat them on Saturday. So I'm glad that you're here. I just want to throw it out. If there's ever a time that you want to throw out a question, comment, suggestion, feedback, whatever, please do so. My Twitter handle is @alltarheeldan. Google Plus, just find me at Dan DeWitt. Email me unchoopstalk@gmail.com. The blog, unchoopstalk.blogspot.com. YouTube is youtube.com/UNCHoopsTalk. You can watch all the past podcasts in video form. iTunes, just go ahead and search UNC Hoops Talk on it. And Vine and Instagram is also All Tar Heel Dan. Vine being where I'm most active of late, especially with highlights from the game as it's going on. Let's jump in. Let's get to it. We're going to start, of course, with recapping the last two games that we've had, Iowa at home and then ECU at home. One going the way that it was supposed to and how we anticipated, and one not by a long ways. We'll start first with the Iowa game, jumping into that. Again, if you listen to this, you follow it close enough, you know, not a good outcome for us. We did not play well. Not that they did all that much either. Only scored 55 points, and we ended up losing 60-55 in the ACC Big Ten Challenge to Iowa. That's right. We lost at home to Iowa. I don't know if we can say that again. We lost to Iowa at home and only scored 55 points. So, yeah, very ugly game. We didn't shoot well. We didn't rebound well. We did end up out-rebounding them 46-22. But I was going to just see here. I believe we only gave up 2 offensive rebounds, something like that, 1 or 2 in the first half. They ended up with 17 total offensive rebounds, which means they had 15, 16 in the second half. And it showed. It killed us. As far as our stats, Page shot 4 for 16 overall, 3 for 12. Ended up 13 points, but 0 assists, 3 turnovers. He did force a little bit. Of course, there's a lot of talk about him being from Iowa. He knew a lot of those guys, played with some of those guys. Was he pressing too much? But really, that's what we've been asking him to do in previous games, especially when we played bad. It's like, hey, Page needs to take over. He needs to step up. So, again, it's unfortunate we got a lot of guys back from last year. We expected to kind of hit the ground running. But I feel there's still guys kind of finding their roles and roles being defined yet for guys on this team. Like Theo Pence and Joe Barry, not really sure what their role is going to be. Justin Jackson has to hit his stride yet. Bryce has to be more consistent. Things like that. And that if we can do that, or when we do that, it's going to help us a lot. Isaiah Hicks being more consistent, he'll have a great game. And then, like this game, he played 14 minutes, shot 1 for 3, 2 fouls, 2 points. It's just not enough from him in 14 minutes. So, very depressing game. As far as stat-wise, Kennedy Meeks ended up with 15 and 12. 6 of his boards were offensive. Pretty much the only person that really had anything going. Bryce Johnson shot 1 for 7. Only played 12 minutes, scored 2 points, 4 rebounds. And he was foul trouble. That's why it's only 12 points. It's not like Roy was trying to send a message or anything like that. But he's got his first stay out of trouble, foul trouble, and that comes down to him playing better defense. There's been a few games now this year where he's been in foul trouble. It really comes down to him being sound on defense. And, we've heard that story the past couple of years. He is improved, but he's just got to be smarter than that as a junior. So, yeah, he's got to do better. JP Tokoto shot 2 for 8. He was 5 for 7 from the free throw line. had 8 rebounds, 9 points. It did a little bit of everything, but not as much as what he had or has been doing. Maybe is the way to put it. Justin Jackson, 7 points, shot for 3 for 9, 0 for 3 from the 3-point line. And really, the story came down to bench play. We had 9 points off the bench. Nate Britt led us off the bench with 5, saying something, but he still only shot 2 for 8, 1 for 4 from the 3-point line. And then Pinson had 2 points, and Isaiah Hicks the 2 points I mentioned before. So it was just ugly. People giving Iowa credit for defense, and they played solid defense, but a lot of it was us just shooting ourselves in the foot, not shooting the ball well, I've said this over and over, but kind of enforcing our style of play and our talent on people. There's just no excuse. We should forget about shooting well. We should be dunking the ball over these guys. And we had 24. We had more offensive rebounds than we did defensive rebounds. We had 24 offensive rebounds, 22 defensive rebounds. So, that just can't happen. We got to rebound better on the defensive end, and we should just be dunking and throwing stuff down over teams like this. And I grew up very close to Iowa. It's just not a, obviously I had people texting me and talking to me about it and all that junk, but I don't care about that. It's just the fact that we're not playing up to our potential. And there's been a lot of talk about, do we play down to our opponents? But I don't even know if that's the case. Maybe to an extent it is, but and then Roy gets on them and they come back against ECU and play better. But these guys got to know better. You just got to. I don't know. And so very frustrating again. Really hope it's not similar to last year, which is just so up and down. We got to find kind of a better rhythm than that. Shooting. Let's see. Where the total field goals? We were 11 for 41 in the first half, 8 for 20. We made stinking 8 field goals in the second half. Shot 28% if you round up, 27.9%. And I think that set a bunch of records for the Dean Dome and all that junk. And I don't know, it was just bad. It was really bad. And of course, the ACC lost the ACC Big Ten Challenge. Pretty big. It was like, I think you need 8 to win, and it was, I don't know, it was bad. It was like 8-3 or 8-4 or whatever. It was not good. And not that I care about the ACC Big Ten Challenge. I only care about the game we play. But the one we played was one we should have won, and we played horrible and didn't win. So that's kind of putting it lightly. Of course, then that was Wednesday night. We would come back, we respond against ECU. Again, it doesn't say a whole lot about us. It's more about them. We came out, we did have more energy. We shot the ball better, moved the ball around better. That was one thing. We only ended up with 8 assists, but 27 assists. I was looking at the wrong stat. Only 8 turnovers. So yeah, big difference there. Some guys had some big games. JP had a great game, 19 points, 8 assists. Was 5 for 5 shooting free throws, 7 for 12 overall. 8 assists to 1 turnover. Another big stat there. Bryce Johnson had a career night, 19 points, 17 rebounds. And that's the thing. He goes from that Iowa game, and I know he was in foul trouble, but to a game like this. It's just unexplainable. Kennedy Meeks had 12 points, 11 rebounds, another double-double for him, which I believe he's averaging, and hopefully we can kind of come to expect from him. Marcus Page only had 8 points, had 6 assists to 1 turnover, though. Again, it's kind of the double-edged sword. We can say, well, we didn't need him this game, but if we would he have done something different? I don't know. And there were other guys going, so it's not like you have to worry about it too much. But he's got to, he's got to find his groove too, find what's working. And it's probably hard for him going from back and forth between playing the 1 and the 2, and balling his hands off the hands. Is he supposed to set people up? Is he supposed to attack and be aggressive? He's got to find that nice middle ground. Bench points much better this game. And of course, when we're blowing a team out, they're going to have more chances and blah, blah, blah. But you got to take advantage of those. And really, it came down to shooting better. What I say, we shot 28% against Iowa. We shot 60%, 51 in the first half and 72 in the second half. So, Nate Britt had 10 points off the bench, shot 3 for 4 in only 15 minutes. He'd been playing really more than that. Theo Pinson gave us 5, 3 assists to no turnovers. Joel Berry, 8 points, 3 assists to no turnovers, and 2 steals. He looked a lot more comfortable. I tweeted that out during the game, but he just looked like a different player out there than what really he'd seen. I hadn't seen that from him. Isaiah Hicks was strong. He had kind of one stretch where he scored, and he had 8 points, 4 rebounds. But it seemed like all of them in one stretch. He came out and had like 3 dunks and really got us going. Not that we weren't winning before he got there and was doing that stuff, but he really brought a lot of energy. So it was good to see, and hopefully he can continue that. Joel James had 7 points in 10 minutes. Also had 4 fouls. 1 rebound, which is, again, got to change. But I kind of tweeted out, I love him. He's got a great personality, but I just think we got to do something different. We just can't keep putting Joel James up there, and he shoots it every time he gets the ball. He's just a black hole, and he's not great. He's aggressive, he's big, but as big as he is, he doesn't get the rebounds he should. And I really would like to see Desmond Hubert and even Jackson Simmons, for that matter, get a few of those minutes that he's getting. He got 10 minutes. I'd like, put it down to 3 or 4. And I know there's going to be games where he does, but and I'm guessing Roy wants the bigger body when Kennedy's out in foul trouble, whatever. But heck, if Kennedy's not in there, let's defend a little bit. Have somebody else do the scoring. Marcus, tell him, Justin, he's got to step it up. Bryce, he's got to step it up because Kenny's in foul trouble or something. And then put Desmond in there to defend, because Joel James doesn't really do either. Doesn't defend, doesn't rebound. He scored, but against who? And even the shots he takes, like every shot he takes, is just like, oh, why? So I don't know. That's my soapbox and maybe my negativity. But I know he hasn't played basketball long. People told me that when I tweeted that out, and I know that. But he's had 2 years now, and I don't know. He better be the best player on the court in practice if he's getting 10 minutes in a game the way he's looked. Because hey, that's great if you're a great practice player, but if you can't get it translated, he's a junior now. Something's got to click. Something's got to change. But yeah, whatever. That's my 2 cents there. I'd much rather see Desmond Hubert, who got 3 minutes. No, he did get more. He got 8 minutes. Jackson Simmons got 3 minutes. And I know, Desmond Hubert, his stats aren't going to look different. He's not going to, stack the box score with a bunch of stats or anything. But you're going to notice difference because he defends. He can, when we go into Kentucky, he can defend him. So I don't know. That's my thing. Again, this game, blowout, easy opponent. And I tweeted this out as well as, okay, we know that now Bryce and everybody can do it against a lesser opponent. Now we have to start doing it against the big boys. And, last year we did. We didn't always do it against the little guys, but, we showed up in big games and we played awesome. Not that like I said, don't want that contrast that we had last year, but it's time for Bryce. It's time for, Justin, Kennedy show up in these big games. And they got the chance now moving into our preview for Saturday against Kentucky. I predicted a loss, but I didn't predict a loss against Iowa. So we'll see. I would love for this to be, where everybody clicks and where we step it up and take down number 1 Kentucky. It looks to be a very hard task. Nobody's really playing with them 40 minutes. Texas played with them for a half and then it's kind of done. They're missing their point guard. And I was listening to the CBS college basketball podcast this morning. They're going to say for somebody to beat Kentucky, they're going to have to hit at least 8 threes. Um, and if that's true, obviously they can't prove that or anything like that. But if that's true, it doesn't look like it's going to be us because we can't hit 8 threes. That's a miracle or career day or whatever you want to say if we were going to hit 8 threes. If Marcus hits 4, uh, you know Justin would have to hit 1 or 2, Nate hit 1, JP hit 1, Joel hit 1 or something. I don't know. It's like, where does 8 threes come from for us? So it's gonna be tough. In our bigs, we can't necessarily just say pound it inside because they're taller. They got more of them. They're just as athletic, if not more, in Kennedy's case. So it's gonna be tough, especially being in Kentucky. Although I'd rather lose on their court than on our court. But I don't expect it to be a blowout. I don't expect like Kansas where they just manhandled them and look like a middle school team or anything. But it's going to be very tough for us to win for sure. And I hope we do at least just go compete. If we don't win, it doesn't matter. This is still a December game, and I don't want to. I'm not trying to cop out or anything like that. But it is still a December game, so it's a chance for us to go up against the top team in the country right now and kind of show the potential that we have, and hopefully it's something we can build off of. Hopefully they're ready. It is exam week in Chapel Hill, but I'm guessing it's exam week in Lexington as well for those guys. So we need to come ready to play our game. We got to come out with energy and be aggressive and win the rebounding battle, win the turnover battle, and be ready to handle their pressure for 40 minutes because they do have enough bodies to platoon, as Coach Cal calls it, and we're gonna be ready to handle that. I know Marcus can play all those minutes. It's Kennedy and Bryce staying out of foul trouble, and our bench coming in and giving us valuable minutes. Those kind of things that kind of worry me, and where it could get out of hand if we don't show up like we could. So I'm not going to predict a win. In the preseason expectations, I predicted a loss. I'm gonna guess that we lose now. But if I ain't gonna be cheering my butt off to try to get us to win, and wear my lucky hat or whatever it is, shirt, whatever you got, I'm gonna be doing all that same stuff. So. Obviously I still want to win. I'll take a win. I'd rather be wrong and us win than than anything else really at this point. So it'll be interesting. That game is at 12 Eastern on CBS on Saturday, December 13th. And then we follow that one up. I believe it's on Tuesday that we play the next one. And we play UNC Greensboro. Obviously back at home, we're not going to play them anywhere else. Oh no, it is in Greensboro. Dang. Never mind. We're on the road quite a bit there. But anyway, that game is on ESPN2, December 16th on Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Hopefully hopefully it's not just a bounce back game where we get clobbered and then we have to come back and get confidence back. But I believe that's the team that Wes Miller is coaching too, right? So we got some big games coming up, obviously Kentucky, and then we do play Ohio State in the CBS Sports Classic or whatever the heck they're calling it up in Chicago the following Saturday. And then another Saturday after that, we got UAB, who obviously beat us last year, and we got to get some revenge against. And then William and Mary on December 30th. And then beginning of the new year start with at Clemson to start the ACC play, and we're into it. So we got to get our stuff together. We got to play consistent, play hard, and show them what the Tar Heels are made of. And as fans, of course, we got to make sure that we're behind them and doing everything that we need to show our support and make sure we're clicking on all cylinders as well as a Tar Heel Nation. So. As far as the podcast go for the rest of the year, obviously I'm going to still try to do one a year or one a week. It's going to be harder come holiday season and all that stuff. and I'm doing this one so early, and actually I'm not even really doing this one live for questions or anything as I usually do, because on Wednesday I leave, and we're leaving for through the weekend, through next Tuesday actually, for an early Christmas. And so next weekend I don't even have to be later in the week that I do the recap of the Kentucky game and looking towards Ohio State. So and then when we get to Christmas week and New Year's week, and that week may be the one time I take off. But I hope you'll forgive me. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you'll come back and listen some more and even interact. As I said, on Twitter, it's at AllTarHeelDan. On Google Plus, it's Dan DeWitt. The blog is unchoopstalk.blogspot.com. Throw up a lot of the highlights, the press conferences, and also I've been throwing up my Vine highlights on there. If you don't have a Vine or something on Vine, it's just All Tar Heel Dan. Search that, you'll find me. But I don't know if I'll be able to do that with the Kentucky game, because I'll be somewhere that doesn't have DVR to go back and find the highlight and stuff like that. But check those out on the blog as well. Email is unchoopstalk@gmail.com. YouTube is youtube.com/UNCHoopstalk. Get all of the podcasts, past and the future ones, and also I'm on iTunes. If you want to take me anywhere you go and you don't want to look at this mug anymore, you can listen to just the audio on iTunes. Just search UNC Hoops Talk. Otherwise, the link will be down in the description with links to the box scores and everything else I talked about here. So check it out. Connect with me. Stay strong. Stay positive. And I just want a quick check to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. One other way, I guess I'll just end with this. One other way, besides subscribing to YouTube or iTunes, leaving reviews, comments, questions, all that stuff that I appreciate, and of course just simply listening or watching the show. If you'd like to support even more, you can go over to patreon.com/UNCHoopsTalk, and it's just kind of a ongoing fundraiser, whatever you want to call it, where you can support the show. All the money goes right back into this production. Hopefully, as you can tell, if you watch the videos, you can tell anyway that kind of a new setup, and hopefully the audio works and is good this time. If not, we'll play with it, make sure it's better next time. But hopefully the video looks a little bit better here, and hopefully I'm working on audio getting better as well. And your support there helps. It helps host the podcast, because hosting stuff on the internet is not free. But for as little as $1 a month, you can support and help us out. And there are rewards there as well. So check it out at patreon.com/UNCHoopsTalk. Again, that description will be below and wherever you find this. And if not, contact me and I'll get you a link and everything that you need. But that's it. Let's go beat those Wildcats. Let's show the country that we're not dead, and we got a lot of potential, and we're serious contenders. But that's all here. Signing off, I am Dan DeWitt, your host of UNC Hoops Talk podcast. Until next time, go Heels.